Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to Harry's Highlights. On this video, we're going to talk about the book Start With Why. Now, this is all about how great leaders lead through inspiration, not manipulation. And it applies to not just leaders, but companies, organizations, and groups as well. It's talking about how, for so long, so many companies and places, they started with what they did, how they did it, and then maybe they might add why they do it. When what we're learning is that to really have that inspired trust and loyalty, to have that undenying, like, humans that'll just follow you to the ends of the earth, you need to start with why. The golden circle should go, you start with why you do something, how you do it, then you move on to what it is you do. When you talk about that way, you speak directly to the decision-making part of the brain that looks at things emotionally and then attaches logic on top of that to support it. See, so many people make the mistake, or so many companies make that mistake of thinking if they just talk about what it is they do. We sell cars, we build houses, whatever it may be. They think that because they're talking logically and like, here it is a summarized version, here it is what we do. It doesn't inspire anybody. It doesn't give them reason to go like, I should choose that over something else. When you start with why you do something, you immediately speak to that emotional part of the brain so people feel, they evoke a feeling. They all of a sudden start to understand and empathize what it is that you're doing. They feel what you feel. When charity speaks to you, they don't go like, here's what we do. They talk about, here's why we do it. We're out there trying to make sure that when you go to the tap or you go to the shower and you have that nice clean water that you either wash your face with, or you're able to drink or quench your thirst, there's a group of other people out there that have to go down to a river that's heavily polluted. They have to use the same water that other people go to the toilet and shower. They have to use that same water to drink and wash their face. So if you leave here and you don't, decide not to support us, that's absolutely fine. But just remember, there's a lot of other people out there that you could have helped have them have clean drinking water that they can wash their face with and they can drink just as you'll have every day for the rest of your life. When you see that difference in talking about what you did and why they do it, they didn't talk about starting with, we have a charity here that's going to help people. We're going to help them get better. They said why they did it. They wanted to see people, not have to go through unnecessary hardships. We look at great companies that are really, really successful. And it's something that's like, let's use something undeniable, like Apple. They're $1 trillion company now. Their whole philosophy is they want to create products that are going to change the world. That's why they do it. They want products that will help be more intuitive, that help people be better. That's why they do it. How they do that is they continually strive to invent products that work better with humans, that are more intuitive, that push the mold, that break boundaries, that are better than what they produced before. That's how they do it. What they do is they produce electronics. See, they started with why they do it. People can relate to that. They can feel, people will follow people, or they look for people, especially humans, will look for other people that have similar beliefs and values. When other people can hear that and feel that emotion, they go, yeah, I like that. I like the way that sounds. That's emotional. They're not talking about like, oh, okay, you build electronics, cool. They're going like, this is why you build electronics. This is why you do whatever it is you do. They don't even know what it is yet. They just go like, we wanted to make the world better. Oh, okay, that's great. How do you do that? We wanted to push the mold with lots of things. We want to make things better, bigger, faster, more intuitive. Okay, great. What is it that you actually do? We build electronics. Fantastic. But if you start as I build electronics. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we've got a few factories and stuff. We basically put them all together. Okay, why did you do that? Need to make money. Okay, cool. It's a huge difference in how you communicate and speak to someone. See, they say leadership is all about how you have a vision for something that does not exist yet, and the ability to communicate it effectively. So great leaders, they lead through inspiration, not manipulation. They inspire the humans that follow them so that when their back's against the wall, when things are, down to that fight or flight, they're there banding together, working as a team, not looking out for the individuals. Because there's that culture in there that it's like, I'm going to look after you because you're a human being just like me and you deserve it. That's why they do it. They're not saying, I'm going to look after you because my boss told me so. That difference in inspiration versus manipulation is the reason why you'll find customers, you'll find people that will literally turn down a better product even if it is a better price, just because they're loyal to that brand and they want to continue to do business with you because they believe in what it is that you do. They believe in it is why you do what you do. See, when what you do doesn't prove why you do it, that is where you develop mistrust, and that is why you don't have people that stay loyal. See, when car companies are great examples of that, they say like, we need to build cars, we need to build it for the cheapest possible price we can to make the most profit. It's like, great. That's awesome. We all need that car. How we do that is because we ship our cars to different countries. They're going to provide the best and cheapest labouring. And then why we do that is because we want to make profits. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I like that car, so I'll buy that car. But it's easy to be swayed on something else. When you have another company that's like disrupting the industries, that's also on their way to becoming a $1 trillion dollar company, Tesla. They started with why? They wanted to build cars that were safer. They wanted to do something that was going to help the world become better, propel them into the future in a way that is going to make things not only more efficient and convenient, but safer, so that the world can take one more risk off their plate. That's why they do it. How they do that is by helping train people with a culture of teamwork and not about the bottom line, about us doing this to people that have similar values and beliefs that also want to do things based on that why, that also want to better the world. What they do is produce electric cars. Note that whole beginning of of their company motto is all about why they do it. It's not about what they do. If you didn't know who Tesla was, and I only started with that why and the how, you wouldn't even know what it is they do. You'd just go and say, like, what a great company. They want to do things better for the world. How they do it is by training their team to have a culture that also wants to do better for the world, that shares that same belief. They could be making toothpicks and pencils. But what they do is they make electric cars. That last part is the reasoning and rationality that uses to support what it is, the emotional decision of what it is. Like, I don't know what it is they do, but I like it. I don't want them to do more of it. What do they do? They make electric cars. Fantastic, that's even better. And that is the difference with how you lead through inspiration, not manipulation. Talking about manipulation is about like, well, you need a car. Without a car, it'll take you a lot longer to get places. What happens when you've got a further distance? What happens when it's raining? It's like, yeah, that's all logical. Yeah, I guess I could need all that one. But when you talk about why you do something, when it talks about, don't you care about your children being in a safer environment? Don't you care about the other things that you can't control around you being safer, like other cars? Meaning that they're more intuitive to understand their environment so that your children are even safer again. Well, yeah, I definitely want that. How do I do that? Well, by using these electric cars that we've developed that are designed to propel humanity into the future in a safer and more intuitive way. Great. What is it? What is it? They're electric cars with a company called Tesla. Fantastic. That difference in how great leaders lead through inspiration, not manipulation, is why you've got companies that are breaking boundaries and pushing limits that have never been seen before. Because you have people that will literally line up for hours, days even, for something new. Like these fans of these companies. They're not sports. These are fans of companies that are so inspired and believe so much in what they do that they will camp for days on end just to be the first person to get their product. Because that's how much they believe in them. And even if their product is only a year old, they will buy the next one in support because they believe in what this company is doing. See, trust is emotional. It's something that you feel. You look at something, you don't just go like, I don't trust that because of these logical reasons. You initially just go, it's a feeling, I just don't trust them. It's a vibe. And then you add the reason and logic on top of it. So when you have a company that you just go, that you know is going to look after you, you're there, when your back's against the wall, you're there, you're going to go, I'm going to help the person to the left of me and to the right of me because they're going to do the exact same thing for me. Because they see me as a valued member of the team, they see us basically as family, and that if I was to fall, they would fall too. They don't sit there and go like, well, I'm back against the wall, I'm going to do what's best for the person to the left of me and the right of me because my boss told me to. That difference is the reason why great companies, great organizations, great groups are pushing boundaries that have never been seen before. It's why we're seeing leaders that have been able to lead like nothing like else before. Because of this difference in mentality of looking at things from a position of trust, a position of emotion, from starting with why. Now, to quickly summarize, we talked about how companies have moved away from the what, how, why, and are now doing things based on the why, how, what. why they do something, then talking about how they do it, and then explaining what it is they actually do. Because I wanted to explain that people will buy why you do something. They won't buy what you do. You have to. Then we talked about that. I really was wanting to hit on that fact that leaders are those that lead through inspiration, not manipulation. That difference is why you've got undying loyalty, why people give up days off, why people stay back longer unpaid, because they believe in what it is they're doing and doing something for a greater good, not for the bottom line, not for more money in the company's pocket. And I wanted to explain that, like the understanding of loyalty, and you will have, when you create that culture, you will have customers and humans that are so loyal to your brand that they will turn down a better offer, a better product, a better price, just to continue to do business with you, whether they be working for the company or purchasing from the company, or just supporting your group organization. They would rather give up better things that for them, logically, because emotionally they feel more invested in you. Then the other thing I want to talk about there was about if what you do doesn't prove why you do it, people won't believe it, and you'll create a culture of mistrust. If you say one thing but do another, eventually people recognize that pattern. They'll give you that first few tries, and then eventually it'll be gone, and it'll be broken forever. You won't be able to repair that. And that is why you've got to understand, with great leaders, they have to have an understanding. They have to have a vision for something that isn't yet created, and the ability to communicate it to those that haven't seen it either. And I understand that because on the basis of this all, we make our decisions based on emotion, and then we support it with logic. So when you have that in mind, you need to start with why, which is the emotional, before you get to what, which is the logical. Now, we're going to be making a lot more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. That's all for now, but until next time, leave a comment below on what you thought you liked the most, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the next episode of Harry's Highlights.